We have made it to Thursday, baby, or as we call it here at Crane & Company, Little Friday.
Little Friday.
Because we're optimists.
Little Friday.
All right, if I was a Transformer, I'd be Optimus Prime. Dave, I will say, we opened the show. We got a great show for you guys, as usual. Pete Nakos is going to join us from On 3. There's a ton to talk about. But really quickly, we put out your origin story of the cart girl in golf. Mm-hmm. That went nuts on social media. You've got another golf anecdote here. What can you possibly have for us?
Have you heard of the Richmond Golf Club in Surrey, England? When you went over there I know you went over to London.
No, right? I didn't get over to Surrey.
Well, German bombs fell on this course in 1940, so they came up with temporary wartime golf rules and put a plaque right here.
Like legit. So this is from 1940, World War II.
1940.
What are some
rules?
of them?
Players are asked to collect bomb and shrapnel splinters to save these causing damage to the mowing machines. Okay, that's first off. We've got to protect the course, all right? 2, in competitions during gunfire or while bombs are falling, players may take cover without penalty for ceasing play.
Okay. Oh, good.
Okay, yeah, have to, right?
Yeah, but not for too long. Yeah. Just for a little bit.
Take a stroke for
3,
that.
the positions of known delayed action bombs, those ones that may explode later, are marked by red flags at a reasonably but not guaranteed safe distance therefrom.
God, who's got the balls to put the red flag by him?
Who marked them?
I wouldn't get anywhere near it.
Where that it were so simple.
Yes.
Right, is the only quote I'm thinking of. 4, shrapnel and or bomb splinters on the fairways or in bunkers within a club's length of a ball may be moved without penalty, and no penalty shall be incurred if a ball is thereby caused to move accidentally.
Again, I get that. I'm down with that 100%.
All right. 5, a ball moved by enemy action may be replaced, or if lost or destroyed, a ball may be dropped not near the hole without penalty.
Oh, good. Yeah, I mean, a bomb blows up, my ball disappears.
Enemy action.
Not on me.
Okay,
right?
I guess it just matters who's the real enemy. You know, what is your enemy?
Anyone
Well,
not me.
now you're looking,
even your playing partner.
Yeah, you had to be part of the axis of evil.
Number 6, a ball lying in a crater may be lifted and dropped not near the hole, preserving the line to the hole without penalty. All right, but here's where we have problems. Last one, number 7. A player whose stroke is affected by the simultaneous explosion of a bomb may play another ball from the same place, penalty 1 stroke.
They're penalizing you if you're hitting the ball in a bomb.
Look, Coach, we got to play under pressure.
I love it. Pressure's a privilege.
Let's be honest. Like, that's one of the most gangster things I've ever seen. Hey, it's the middle of World War II. We're getting bombed. It's the Blitz in England. But hey, let's go play. Let's go run 9.
Can you imagine being on 18, 110 yards out, and a bomb blows up as you're swinging? You put it 5 feet.
Typically I'm the bomb.
Put it 5 feet. Come on, dog. What are you going to say?
I mean, Churchill's in a bunker.
What are you going to say?
Trying to figure out how to beat.
Yeah, I'm over here on 7.
Tiger never did that. Tiger never had to shoot a shot under bomb pressure.
He would get people kicked out if they clapped in his back.
Yeah.
We got bombs going.
Built different.
David, you keep finding these nice little anecdotes, man. Keep them coming. Reports have surfaced that FSU and Clemson could possibly be joining the Big 12 Conference. Pete Nakos from On 3 is going to join us to discuss that. And 2 more Georgia players have been arrested for driving incidents. Unbelievable. I'm Jake Crane, and welcome to the Thursday, a.k.a. Little Friday edition of Crane & Company. Get those feet chopping now. Conference realignment has been one of the many big changes that we've seen in college football as of late. And there's more coming in the realignment game now that we're hearing even louder rumblings about what some ACC teams could be possibly doing, leaving their conference and going to the Big 12. As I said, we're going to talk with Pete Nakos from On 3 about that in a bit. But I want to talk about 2 teams that are going to a new conference outside of the ACC and Big 12, and that's Texas and Oklahoma. And to be honest, once again, I am asking you guys and prominent sports media members in that space that are downplaying the situation that Oklahoma is in as they enter the SEC. Please stop. Just don't fall for the biggest trap that there is. Now, we're going to play a clip from a guy named Teddy Lehman, who I've got a ton of respect for and was an absolute baller at Oklahoma, was Defensive Player of the Year in the Big 12, won the national championship, played in the NFL. But he believes, outside of Alabama and Georgia, that every other team is really just churning through each other and that they don't really present that big of a threat. To quote, they really haven't done shit. Now, yes, there has been a lot of turnover with coaches in the SEC because the stakes are so high at pretty much every place. But once again, do not fall for the trap of the SEC is only top heavy. I've said this a zillion times and it still rings true. The hardest part about playing in the Southeastern Conference is not the one-off against Alabama or Georgia or whoever the best team may be at the time. It's the absolute meat grinder that you face outside of Vanderbilt, I'll give you that, pretty much each week. Every team that you're going to play has NFL players all over the roster. And if you're on the road, virtually every stadium is incredibly hostile and very tough to win at. It's truly a marathon, not a sprint. Now, Oklahoma should be confident. Their fans should be excited. After all, you're a huge brand with high standards, a great tradition, and high expectations. And I firmly believe that scared money don't make money, especially in this league. But I'm simply saying, do not get caught in the trap of being over arrogant, because this league has a way of humbling you very, very quickly. I'm going to bring in my co-host, former Michigan quarterback David Cohn, my brother, former Western State, Colorado wide receiver Blaine Crane. And guys, I want to play this clip to give some context to what I just said. All right, this is Teddy Lehman on the podcast they do. I think it's at OK Breakdown. Let's just play this clip.
Oklahoma has out-recruited everyone in the conference except for Georgia and Alabama, or been like right on the level with Texas and LSU. Do you know how many coaches in this conference have won an SEC championship?
One. Kirby.
Do you know how many coaches in this conference have been at their school longer than like 4 or 5 years? Kirby. And Stoops. That's it. Everything else is like constant turnover. Why is it constant turnover? Because they haven't done shit. So it's not like, oh, we got to come in and earn our stripes. Against teams that have accomplished jack squat, none of them have.
Okay. Again, Teddy Lehman, hell of a player, knows ball. I think he firmly believes this. Blaine, you think it was just clickbait. The facts that you laid out, yes, only one coach currently has won an SEC championship that's in there, and that's Kirby Smart. Nick Saban just left. And yes, Oklahoma's recruited at a very high level. Nobody is doubting that, right? Nobody's saying Oklahoma's some trash program that's just going to get bounced around like a ping pong ball when they get in the SEC. But coming in with the mindset of, oh, we don't have to earn our stripes or nobody else has done anything. Lane Kiffin's pretty solid at Ole Miss. They're better than they've ever been. Brian Kelly is going into year 3 at LSU, and they're going to be a problem. That defense is going to be better. Josh Heupel is pretty concreted in at Tennessee, and even though they got a new quarterback, they're pretty talented. You're going to see that the first couple weeks in Norman, and if you overlook Tennessee, they're going to walk into Norman and pull your pants down and laugh at you in front of everybody. So again, I'm not saying Oklahoma fans, David, should not be confident. They should be confident. You can't survive in this league if you're not confident. But this over-arrogance trap where you think, oh, it's just really 1 to 2 teams that are any good, you better hope that nobody in that building at Oklahoma believes that actually plays on the field. I know Brent Venables does, but with what he just said, what is your initial reaction? Because we have been saying the same thing and forever, and Oklahoma fans are like, oh, well, you're saying Oklahoma sucks. Nobody's saying Oklahoma's bad, but you are walking into a meat grinder, man.
Yeah. Well, don't forget also Hugh Freeze's prior success at Ole Miss with that list that you just listed off there. Been in the SEC longer than just his time at Auburn. But Teddy makes several statements that are factually correct, right? And he could have just made those facts and gotten the same point across, but, you know, the factual statements are sort of go out of the window when you wrap it in an underlying sentiment of most of the teams in the conference haven't done bleep, right?
Exactly.
So, and it is kind of funny too that in terms of the years that coaches have spent at schools, it's funny that, Oklahoma's had 3 different head coaches.
Venables hadn't been there 3 years.
Yeah.
3 coaches in 8 years. So, you could just flip that on the script for Oklahoma there. But I'll continue to say the same thing here. The SEC is very proud to bring in Texas and Oklahoma, as they should be, 2 blue blood, long-time blue blood college football programs. So the SEC can't take pride in bringing those programs into the conference, but then also say, well, they're just mid at best. They're not going to do anything
for sure
to get here. But then on the flip side of that, Oklahoma, and let's just go ahead and throw Texas into this too while we're at it, can't take pride in joining the Southeastern Conference, running from the Big 12 to the SEC to make more money, to be in what they perceive as a better football conference, but then also say, but the conference isn't any good and we're just going to run things right off the bat. Right? We're all excited to see what happens. It's going to be good for everyone for college football here.
Definitely. And we want to know what you think. Phone lines are going to open 2:45 p.m. Central, 1-855-236-3228. Blaine, it seems like, and this is why I love doing a sports show, and especially when we're able to focus on college football, because it seems like with this Texas and Oklahoma thing, and we're going to hear this all next week at SEC Media Days, it's either one extreme or the other. Either you have Texas and Oklahoma fans who are like, we're going to go in the league and dominate. The SEC is really not that tough. Whatever. We're fine. We're Texas. We're Oklahoma. Then you have SEC, which I disagree with that. I disagree that either team is going to go in and dominate, to be honest with you, consistently dominate, at least at the start. But then on the other side of that, you have SEC fans outside of Texas and Oklahoma. They're like, oh, you guys are going to come in and just get smashed, and you're never going to do any good, and it's terrible. No, the answer is always somewhere in the middle. Texas and Oklahoma will be great additions to the conference. It's a great look for Texas and Oklahoma. You're going to have years where you have success. You're going to have years where you don't have success. But thinking that again, oh, well, we're just going to Kentucky. Or, oh, well, we're just going to A&M. Or, oh, well, we get Ole Miss at home this week. That is not a good way to go about it in this league. You are going to get chewed up and spit out and laughed at if you do that.
Yeah, I agree. I do think if you want attention, how do you get attention? Especially if you have a new show or something like that, what do? You talk shit about people in the SEC. That's what you do. The SEC, we're so prideful about our conference. Whatever you say, we're going to take offense to that 100%. But let's be honest. How many national championships has the SEC won since Oklahoma's won one?
Oh, God,
14.
Yeah.
14. And all
how many different teams?
All the teams that didn't do anything.
LSU,
Auburn,
Florida.
LSU.
Auburn.
Florida. So what
Bama,
he says
Georgia.
to me, is it facts? Some of it, for sure. But I don't think he really means that. I don't think you can walk into a Tennessee at Knoxville and say they haven't done anything. The Missouri, who technically hasn't done anything, go play them on a Saturday after you get done playing Georgia the week before. I know this is it's clickbait. That's all this is clickbait. He's trying to stir things up, and he's doing a great job.
See, I disagree. I think he is a former linebacker at Oklahoma, believes that Oklahoma is this big dog that is just going to come in. And you know what? That's fine if you believe that.
Big dog at what? What have y'all done?
Fan is short for fanatical. Now, again, that's why we try and keep it even keel, right, when it comes down to analysis. But I actually really think that Teddy Lehman believes that. And you know what? That's fine for Teddy Lehman to believe. Yeah. That's fine for Oklahoma fans to quote-unquote believe. But if anybody in that building, players, coaches, whoever has anything to do with that program, thinks that or hears that and says, you know what, that's true, it is going to go so south so quick. Let's go through Oklahoma's schedule real quick. I'm going to tell you, if you go into it with this mentality, here's what's going to happen. We can pull up Oklahoma's schedule.
I got it right now.
What do you got?
All right. Temple, week 1 at home.
Win.
Houston, week 2 at home.
Win.
Tulane at home.
Win.
Tennessee at home.
Go in there thinking Tennessee hadn't done anything.
At Auburn.
I didn't hear Tennessee come out of his mouth. They'll beat you at your own place.
At Auburn.
You're probably going to lose that game.
Texas at home.
Red River site. I don't know. The way Oklahoma plays against Texas, they may beat them.
South Carolina at home.
You'll beat South Carolina.
At Ole Miss.
You're going to lose that.
I believe
Maine.
You're going to win that one. Shout out to the Black Bears.
You go to Missouri.
You're going to lose that.
Alabama at home.
You're going to lose that.
At LSU.
I don't know. Dog, I'm telling you right, if you go into it with that mindset, y'all going 5-7. Y'all going 5-7. Whew. But I don't think Brent Venables will have Oklahoma with that mindset.
That's not the mindset that's going on in Oklahoma's.
And Sark knows that Texas, too. If anybody knows, it's Sark. So, again, we love Oklahoma. We love Oklahoma. We love Texas here. We try and ELE. Everybody love everybody. Let's analyze everybody equally. But, like, I'm trying to
This is how you want them to take it, though, right? The SEC wouldn't want to bring any programs in who don't have this.
No, mindset, you're as
right?
crazy as us.
Who's the SEC going to bring in who would say, yeah, man, we're going to be middle of the pack, but we're proud of that?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Another thing to consider here is we're with an expanded playoff now, 12 teams, what could possibly go to 16 teams at some point, is we could see teams still have national success without dominating the conference. We haven't really seen that before. I mean, we have seen situations now with a 14 playoff where an Alabama can lose the SEC championship, still get in and win the Natty. We've seen that, right? Even the Buckeyes a couple years ago lost the Big Ten to Michigan, but they played Georgia on the ropes, almost played in a conference title. But still, those teams were in the conference championship. We could see situations now where maybe Oklahoma and Texas don't win the SEC, but could still make a playoff and make a deep run for a national championship. That's where things are going to get weird, because if you won a national championship, you have bragging rights, but possibly not even playing your conference championship.
That's what blows my mind. How can you say no one else has done anything when 3 other teams have won a national championship?
Well, yeah, not only that, but then if your argument is, hey, we're so similar to every other team because which coach has been there for 4 years or 5 years? Which coach is anywhere for 4 years or 5 years nowadays when you really look at it? But you can't sit there and say Brian Kelly's not cemented in at LSU. Like, you might as well add him to the tenured coaches in the SEC. You can't sit there and say Josh Heupel isn't cemented in at Tennessee, or Lane Kiffin isn't cemented in at Ole Miss, or Eli Drinkowitz isn't cemented in at Missouri. Like, that is such a narrow way to look at it, and that's not going to save you. But if you're going just off the factual things that you brought up, yes, Oklahoma recruits at a really high level. Hell, it's Oklahoma, right? Oklahoma should come in and be able to compete. Nobody's doubting that. But that narrow view of, it's the top 2 teams and everybody else is really just trash. They're not very good. That's good. That is going to lead to disaster if one person inside that facility at Oklahoma thinks that.
I agree.
Or Texas in general. All right, let's get to the chat.
All right, chat, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you donate, it's on topic. It will get read. We're going to start off with keys to success. SEC had a losing record against the ACC last year. Other than 2 few teams, SEC isn't that far separated from other conferences.
Okay. I'm going to try and
Here
explain
we
this.
go.
You had what? LSU lost to FSU, all right, in the opener. FSU went undefeated. Okay, even though they got left out of the playoff. If that is almost the exact same example as the one-off of Alabama and Georgia, because you are going off a couple teams that played a couple other teams from another conference. Being in the SEC means you play more SEC teams than you play any other teams. You had the best team in the ACC, which was Florida State, beat an LSU team that had the Heisman winner on it, that went 9-3, right, in a pretty decently tight game. That's one game. I promise you, if you had had one of those teams that beat one of the SEC teams out of the ACC, right, and gave them an SEC schedule, they would struggle. I'm just trying to tell you this. You can make whatever excuse you want and sit here and say, these couple one-off games, right, that's just not how it works. You're going to see. Like, that's the beautiful part about this. You're going to get to learn in real time. And I'm going to watch and tell you every step of the way exactly why I was right. And we'll come right back here. That's the best part about them playing it on the field.
Florida State did end up blowing them out, I think.
Well, Florida State ended up beating LSU. I think, if I remember correctly,
they rolled off like 3 straight touchdowns.
We live streamed the game from your house, didn't we?
In the fourth quarter.
In the fourth quarter, they pulled away. But again, LSU didn't throw the ball.
Let's go to Big Cajones, Kelly. I'm tired of the blue blood talk getting thrown around about OU mainly. They're trying to live off the past. These kids don't care about a national championship that was won before they were born.
And listen, I'm not going to downgrade Oklahoma's program. Yeah. Oklahoma has an incredible tradition. They are a big brand. But you are walking into a different schoolyard. You just are. You're going on the other side of the tracks now. And you're going to see. And the Big 12's had some really good teams. Like, the league has transformed. It's a lot more of a defensive league than it used to be. At least, it was trending that way. But again, we can sit here and talk about it. And I'm not on either one of those sides. Oklahoma and Texas are going to get their ass beat mercilessly, consistently. Or I'm not on the side of, it's just going to be a easy trek for Oklahoma and Texas outside of 1 to 2 games. It's not how it's going to work.
Let's go to Nate the Great G. Says the truth is SEC has had an edge over the Big Ten, but its edge, the SEC fans act like the SEC is just so much better than the Big Ten and other conferences, and in real life, it's not.
What? So are you saying the SEC and the Big Ten or the SEC compared to everybody else? I would say the Big Ten is way more comparable to the SEC than the ACC or the Big 12. Like, just, again, we can go through who's won national championships. It's been the SEC and the Big Ten. Like, if you want to make the Big Ten argument with me, especially now that Oregon and Washington's in there, we can have that argument, and it'll be tight, and it'll be close. But trying to compare the Big 12 and the ACC to the SEC is not just casual, it's downright dangerously stupid, right? It just is. Who's the last ACC team to win a national championship?
Well, it'd be Clemson, and I mean, really, there's two. If you take Clemson and Florida State, in the amount of time we're talking about here for 2 Big Ten teams as well, Michigan and Ohio. I mean, I think that when you look at the Big Ten and the ACC, you can clearly say those are more top-heavy. Even then, I mean, when we're talking about, 5 SEC teams won national titles since, let's just say, the start of the century when Oklahoma won their last one. Isn't that what it is? Alabama, Georgia, LSU,
Auburn.
You're
talking about since what year?
Since what we were talking about earlier, since 2000?
Since 2000, Florida.
Wasn't that how we framed it? Since
Florida, LSU, Auburn, Alabama, Georgia.
Yeah.
Like 5. Like, you just, that argument just, it sucks, dog.
But if you take the bottom of the floor, I mean, if you take just take Arkansas and put them in the Big 12 instead of the SEC, like Arkansas is not going to go over there and automatically be the best team for the last 20 years.
They're not, but they'll be in a better position than they were in the SEC.
No, okay, a better position, but I mean, they're not going to be, they wouldn't have had the success I don't think that Oklahoma has had in the Big 12.
No, I'm not saying that. That's why, to me, you got to look at the whole thing. You can't just pick and choose. Well, one team beat one team last year, so therefore none of this is true. That's not how this works.
All right, let's go to Michael Davis. He says the current Big 12 is 13-11 against the legacy SEC minus Alabama and Georgia. Outside of those 2 teams, they are just another conference.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Y'all got to stop doing this. When's the last Big 12 team to win a national championship, David? You remember? Is it Texas?
Yeah, 2005.
2005. Damn, y'all have gone almost 2 decades without winning one. Shut up. Look at the blue chip players. You're just wrong. If it was so good and it was so tough, why are y'all's ass broke compared to the SEC and the Big Ten? Why is Texas and Oklahoma going to the SEC to move into a better neighborhood if the Big 12's so good? And again, I love all college football. I love college football on the West Coast. I love college football in the Northeast and the Southeast. But you're saying stupid stuff. It makes you look really stupid when you say that. And I hate to be that way, but we talk about winning the water cooler. And I'm not saying everything in the SEC is always the best all the time and that every other conference is terrible. But sitting here trying to say the Big 12 is better than the SEC in football? Are you high? Like, that is just an asinine thing to say. It doesn't make sense. It's like saying Jim and Nick's fish shop has more money than Walmart. You just don't. It doesn't mean it's not great. Doesn't mean you don't have good prices.
There'll be no Jim and Nick slander.
I thought you were going to go barbecue, Jim and Nick's barbecue.
I know.
Jim and Nick's fish shop. That sounds great, too, as well.
Give me copyright.
I was going to Brandon Reese. What's up, Brandon? If Oklahoma goes 7-5 or 8-4 with that schedule, nobody will want to hear excuses about how tough it was. Shut your mouth.
You're talking about from Oklahoma?
Yes.
I mean, 8-4 is 8-4.
You go 8-4 with that schedule with a brand new quarterback and a new offensive line. And again, I hope Oklahoma has a great time. And you have a brand new quarterback and you had to replace your whole offensive line coming into year 1 of the SEC. You better gear up for Tennessee.
Unless the losses, of course, are to Houston, Tulane, Maine, and Texas, and they beat all the SEC teams.
That would be hilarious.
That would be something to write a book about.
That'd be the Dr. Seuss way of it happening.
All right, let's go to Joey C. What's up, Joey? OU will finish either 8-4 or 9-3 year 1. Texas will go 11-1 or 10-2 year 1 because Texas has a much easier schedule.
Well, I think Texas and Oklahoma, this is why when we were talking with Jesse Simonton, we were talking about who you're going to buy over a 5-year span. Oklahoma and Texas is a better question than year one. Texas right now is just in a better situation year one than Oklahoma is. It's just the truth. You got more experience coming back, right, at more important spots. Not saying that Oklahoma won't give Texas a run for their money. I mean, in that rivalry game, they typically do. But if Oklahoma goes 9-3 with that schedule, with this personnel, that would be an incredible coaching job by Brent Venables.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to say, with all this, and it's not every Oklahoma fan that's saying this, but you hear some, right, that just, again, think you're going to walk in and just take the remote and tell everybody to go cook you a steak.
I tell you what, we'll give them this. They have the compliment. They have the ego of an SEC team.
And that's great. You have to.
Yeah.
You have to be nuts to be able to pull this off. But when you go, if you go 6-6 or 7-5, I don't, like he said, I don't want to hear anything about, it's the SEC and stuff from the people that like we showed earlier. That's all I'm saying.
Also, one of the ones where you gave them a win, South Carolina coming to Norman. I mean, think about this, Shane Beamer, Oklahoma guy.
It's
fighting for his job too.
That's
going to be a lot of fun.
It's
Shane Beamer
a
coming
DeMarcus
back.
Cousins thing, man. That's what it is. I love the confidence, but it ain't a walk in the park over here.
Yeah, it's just not.
But again, a 9-3. If you go 9-3, again, they could benefit on the back end from playing in a tougher conference.
Because you could make the playoff.
Absolutely.
To make the playoff easier at 9-3 than if you did that in another conference.
And again, I don't want this to come off like I hate Oklahoma or Texas. I don't. I'm trying to help y'all out.
Let's go to a $2 donation from Steve Miller. What's up, Steve? So which conference now is the wimpiest? So let's say if FSU, well, I guess.
Well, I mean, we'll get into all the conference realignment stuff. I would say the weakest conference out of the Power Four right now to me would be the ACC. Not by a ton, but I would say the ACC.
Okay, let's go to a $5 donation from Zach Fish. Appreciate it, Zach. If two G5 teams are 13-0 and a Big 12 and ACC champs are 11-2, do you think a G5 could steal auto bid away from one of those conferences?
A G5 is going to steal an auto bid because the top 5 ranked power conferences, we have 4 power conferences, but it's the top 5 conferences.
Or does he mean steal an additional?
I think he means steal an additional because a group of 5 teams is going to automatically get in. If you had
like the NFC South second place winner stealing the NFC North.
No, I think the question is, would an undefeated group of 5 team outside of the one that gets the automatic bid by winning their conference, and that conference, whether it's the AAC, whether it's the Sun Belt, whatever, finishes 5th in the overall conference power ratings, whatever, would that team get in over the playoff and not get an automatic bid, but get an at-large bid over, let's say, an 11-2 team out of the Big 12 or the ACC?
Okay, well, that wouldn't be stealing an automatic bid, right? Because those are locked in.
Yeah.
But to answer the question phrased that way, I would still say no.
I would say
no because they are already bending over backwards to make sure one group of 5 team gets
and that group of 5 team, if they were to get an at-large bid, not talking about the automatic one, would have had to beat some pretty good teams.
Again, okay, assuming that
it'd be like Memphis, maybe. Like, let's say Memphis
and Tulane, or Memphis and Georgia Southern both go undefeated, and they're the best football teams we've ever seen in our life, maybe.
God, you'd love that. And then Georgia Southern wins the Natty right after Michigan. All right, we're going to get, we got Pete Nakos coming up. We're going to get to a little rapid fire in a second. Going to get back to the chat and then the phone calls. But first, have you guys heard that flavored air is quickly becoming the leading alternative to vaping and smoking? David, have you heard that?
I've heard it now.
Well, you did. Blaine, have you heard that?
Yes,
Don't lie to me.
I heard
Don't
it.
lie to me.
I heard
you
that
haven't
now.
heard it.
Yes,
the new movement toward building better habits is led by one of our sponsors, Fume. All right, what is Fume? It's an innovative, award-winning flavored air device that uses flavored air instead of vapor. It's not vaping. If vapor was you want to make a comparison, if vaping was compared to sticky soda, Fume cores are closer to herbal teas. All right, we like to do analogies, comparisons, metaphors here. So instead of harmful chemicals, they use delicious flavors like crisp mint, orange vanilla, maple pepper, and Blaine's favorite, sparkling grapefruit. It helps you break bad habits by giving you something you can reach for. It's guilt-free alternative that doesn't use any vapor or nicotine, like I said. Plus, it's designed with movable parts and magnets for fidgeting, because keeping your fingers busy is helpful for breaking your habit. So, they've served over 300,000 customers, and you can be the next success story. For a limited time, use code BOOSTER, BOOSTER, and you get a free gift with your Journey Pack. Head to tryfume.com That's TRYFUM.com and use code BOOSTER, BOOSTER, to get a free gift with your order today. Fume and air, all of its own.
You just called me a grapefruit?
I said your favorite flavor is sparkling grapefruit.
Call me a JT?
Don't get a quiz. No, nobody called anybody a JT, Blaine. All right, let's get to a little rapid fire.
All right, 2 more University of Georgia football players have been arrested this week on charges of reckless driving. This marks, 7 now? 8? Maybe in the last year plus, 18 months?
You know, at what point, and this is weird to say because I know Kirby has full control over this program and they fear/respect Kirby. But at what point, if you're a Georgia fan, you had people die, right? With a reckless driving incident.
Yeah.
Like people died. And you still, one of them was street racing. I believe one of the people that was arrested or pulled over or whatever was street racing. At what point do you start worrying if what Kirby's saying is going in one ear and out the other? Like at what point are you not like, as a player, like, oh my God, if I make this mistake, like I'm going to get in trouble with Kirby and this is his biggest no-no. At what point, if you're a Georgia fan, are you just like, is something not resonating here? Not losing the locker room, quote unquote, but man, this just shocks me that this keeps happening. Well, it's
just this is a type of thing where these kids don't look like they're scared of Kirby Smart. They don't look like they fear Kirby Smart, or this wouldn't keep happening. This is beyond embarrassing, not only from a player perspective, but from a program perspective and a head coach perspective. I don't know another team that this happened more to than Georgia.
Mm-hmm. No,
and it seems like it's every other week. Hell, I saw Steve Spurrier quote from the other day. It's like he always likes to play Georgia later in the season because some of their best players are going to be suspended. Like at this point, it is getting beyond out of control. Beyond. And there's no fear. These kids don't fear. You don't fear somebody, then go and do this.
That's my whole point. But I mean, you watch the level of discipline that Georgia plays with, and football and life outside of football are 2 totally different things. I get that. But this just shocks me because of the way Kirby goes about his business. It's very structured. It's very disciplined. Every resource is there. And it would be bad if you had the driving stuff, and then maybe it was weed, and then, it was something else like assault. But this is like all the same thing.
Yeah, there was a part of this early on where I thought it maybe just media coverage skewing this because Georgia is so good now. Georgia's in the spotlight. But then we had the fatalities that you were talking about. And when you start talking about fatalities, hey, that's not media coverage skewing anything. Like people died and lost their lives. And since then, we've still had incident after incident. I just don't understand it. We have a team Uber driver at this point.
Yeah, and you know what, too, though? If you got pulled over for speeding, you're going 80 in a 65. Okay. Street racing? I think Small Munden was
a single car crash here, one of these incidents.
Like, you're street racing? What is going on? And this isn't Tokyo Drift. Like, what is it? That's the part, if I was a Georgia fan, that would baffle me the most. Like, what is Kirby not doing to get through to these guys?
You start giving kids all this money, all right, and they think they're invincible. Think they can't be touched because look how important I am. Look how much money I get every month. Look how important I am. I ain't going to get in trouble. Hell, Ollie Gordon just got pulled over and his head coach said, oh, we do that 1,000 times.
Not a good
What's going on?
Not a good look.
Maybe that's the things that pushes everything.
All right, next one up here. This is something we've needed to talk about for a while now, but I saw this stat. The top 6 highest paid pitchers in Major League Baseball right now. Can we bring up this graphic on what the top 6 highest paid pitchers in Major League Baseball are getting? I believe it's $33 million?
No.
$233 million plus this year. So far, they have combined for 6 total wins this season. Strasburg isn't even in the league anymore.
Yeah, Strasburg doesn't even play anymore. And this doesn't even count Shohei, even though his stuff's deferred. And I know
that's true.
He's been injured.
That's true. Not pitching.
It's when I look at this, things are cyclical, right? This could just be a bad run. It could be a bad anomaly. I don't think it's ever been this bad before. But everything reminds me of Moneyball with like Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
But I don't think you can look at starting pitching and treat it like the running back position in football. Be like, well, the Rays started that one thing where, I mean, look at Jacob deGrom. The Rangers won the World Series last year, and he didn't pitch for 3 months. But again,
Scherzer, Verlander, deGrom, Garrett Cole, Patrick Corbin, and Steven Strasburg.
The question is, will this start to make GMs and people in charge of the money and signing people think before they give these pitchers, with all the injuries that we've had as well, because injuries obviously, attribute to this, but like, do you start thinking, hey, maybe we don't throw these mega contracts, but like that's like your guys, right?
Paying Garrett Cole $36 million. He's pitched like one game.
Again, though, hey, it's a long season, and you pay those guys for the end of the season, not the beginning necessarily.
That's true, unless it's Jacob deGrom.
But yeah, I think the answer is yes. They're going to look down at $233 million across 6 guys. They have 6 wins.
Dude,
we got to rethink a lot of things.
It just makes me want to see how many of them have the same agent. Yes. You got some witch. Like,
it's all Jimmy Sexton, the whole thing.
Jimmy Sexton's brother, Timmy Sexton.
All right, next one up here. Did you guys hear that a regular guy, a non-coach, applied for the Packers defensive coordinator job and got a letter back from the CEO?
Stop.
Did you hear this? This guy's name is Bill, so he applied for the defensive coordinator position. The letter back says, Bill, thanks so much for your cover letter and resume regarding our defensive coordinator position. While your fantasy football experience is impressive, I regret to inform you that we have decided to go in a different direction.
Oh, Bill.
I hear the Chicago Bears have an opening. You look to be a perfect fit for them.
Dude,
thanks again. Sincerely, Mark Murphy, Packers.
Let's go,
Packers. He really got that.
Yeah.
You talk about a man cave special. Do you think do you think that's just because the Packers are basically like owned by the fans? Like they would do stuff like that? I'm trying to think of another organization. Maybe the Lions or somebody would do something like that. That is amazing.
How cool is that?
Let's give an assistant a job or something.
Hey, let's get him out there.
Why not?
I mean, how good was that fantasy?
Co-DC at least?
Come on, dude.
We can get him in the scouting department, maybe, David. But maybe if you're in the scouting department for your e-commerce business, all right, if you run an e-commerce business as well, you can relate to the amount of work that it takes to produce something great. I get asked all the time by people that are starting new podcasts, what do I need to do? Who do I need to reach out to streamline this thing, to make it easier? Well, let me tell you about ShipStation. All right, you strive to optimize your workflow and reduce costs, and with ShipStation, which is a multi-carrier shipping solution, they seamlessly integrate your online selling platforms by streamlining your shipping process and tapping into a network of expert partners. You can reclaim valuable time for what truly matters, growing your business. This helps you compartmentalize. It takes a lot of stress. I'm telling you, we use them. We love them. They have a user-friendly interface. They have one-click label printing feature that makes it so easy to manage your shipping tasks, ensuing a hassle-free experience. ShipStation, it's an innovative tool that helps you turn your shipping challenges into opportunities for growth. Be a smart CEO. Be a smart head coach. This is like your shipping coordinator. Go to ShipStation.com. Use code BOOSTER, BOOSTER, to sign up for your free 60-day trial. That's ShipStation.com. Use code BOOSTER today. ShipStation. Have you heard about it? All right, we got anything else, Dave?
Yeah, we got a couple more things here. Did you see former President Barack Obama recreate the famous Key and Peele skit?
Did he?
I mean, I don't know if it was an inadvertent recreation, but he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
Do we have the clip?
Yes, we have the Key and Peele clip right here. Let's play it. Oh, you got Barack right here. Dapping up the players.
What's up, homie?
Dapping up the players.
Bron.
Is that Anthony right there?
What's up, man?
He goes to Coach.
Oh, Rick. Hello, Rick. Oh, John.
Yeah.
How about that ride in?
Nice to meet you, John.
Yeah.
Roberts. Nice to meet you.
Peter Tencio.
All right. Nice to meet you.
Jerome Smith.
Come on.
You know this.
Mary
And
Nice to meet you.
Jay Martell.
Nice to meet you, sir.
oh, that's
Come on. Come on.
Dude, Key and
that's
Peele's
one of the
so
best.
good.
So funny.
Dude, they're so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
I mean, he knew what he was doing. Recreating that.
Embrace it. I mean, it's funny. That's one of the best Key and Peele skits.
Yeah, that's good. Last one here. Talk about the soccer fight. You had something on the soccer.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw that. It was Colombia and
Uruguay.
We have this clip right here. So after the game, apparently this is what I got told. Some of the Uruguay players thought that their family in the stands were in danger. Were in danger. So they came to the stands and started fighting. Fighting the fans.
I didn't know Ron Artest played for
I love it. Roll the clip.
Oh, God. They're really
in the stands. These are players now.
No way. This just makes me know y'all love it like we love what we love.
I respect you more now.
Going up, find that work. No, they're deep.
Like, they're players. Those are players. See the guy in the uniform right there. 3 of them, 4 of them.
Is anybody going up to grab these guys?
Who won? I don't know. But if I'm Brazil fans, this is our opportunity to maul these guys.
No, listen, this is the opportunity for me to hit that next bet.
Yeah, to maul these guys.
Who's taking one in the knees?
Look, I'll never complain or get upset about a little fighting in soccer.
No, I don't hate it. Speaking of, obviously, Team USA fired Greg Berhalter. Jurgen Klopp, Liverpool's coach. Come on down, man. That's who we need. And you know what? This is a great segue because I know this guy loves international soccer coming up. From On 3, our buddy, we call him Sneaky Pete.
Is that what you
call him? He always
him?
gets the scoops. That's what I call him now. Pete Nakos. Pete, is Jurgen Klopp going to be the next soccer coach or should it be Nick Saban?
There's going to be an awkward transition here. I'm not an international soccer fan.
Yes, you are.
I'm so proud of you,
Yes, you are, Pete.
I'm so proud of you.
Yes, you are, Pete.
Nick Saban all the way, though. That'd be too fun.
I'd feel good about it. But speaking about coming and going, just give our audience, we heard the reports, Ross Dellinger kind of let out that at Big 12 Media Days, there was some rumblings and talk behind the scenes, maybe that Florida State and Clemson and maybe some others maybe eyeing going to the Big 12, not the Big 10 or the SEC, possibly the Big 12. Pete, what have you heard on that, and do you think there's any validity to it?
So it's all speculation at this point, and Ross kind of came back and made it really clear it was speculation. But what I will say, guys, is you have Brett Yormark, right, the Big 12 commissioner, and Brett Yormark comes from the business side of sports, right? He didn't work his way up in a college athletic department. He wasn't the marketing director at your low tier Power 4 for like a decade who worked his way up. No, this guy was cutting like big time deals in New York City in the sports world. And then he got the Big 12 job. And he has really been pushing the ball forward. And like any businessman, right, he's trying to get some big time deals. So he, the WWE is a big time sponsor now. I think was it Nelly who did the halftime show for the Big 12 title game this past year. And then on top of that, now like he's thinking about selling these TV rights deals separately. So like the football and basketball packages would be separate. They might name it the All-State 12. So Brett Yormark isn't messing around, and he made it really clear at Big 12 Media Days that he wants to continue expanding. So I think what you have here is the Big 12 is kind of bullying the ACC, and the ACC is. I got a story up on 3 about it right now. The ACC is struggling, man. The two of the more prominent membership schools right now, Clemson and Florida State, are both entrenched in a legal battle right now that neither want to lose. Clemson filed an appeal today after a court loss. So that's kind of where we're at. If Clemson and Florida State ever get out, and maybe it doesn't make sense for the Big 10 and the SEC, the Big 12 is going to be waiting with some big open arms.
Yeah, and Pete, a couple things. One, it seems like with this conference realignment, every time we've heard a whisper or a rumbling or a quote-unquote unsubstantiated rumor, it has always turned into something. It has come to fruition. We heard rumblings about maybe Texas and Oklahoma leaving the Big 12 to go to the SEC. It gets announced at SEC Media Days a couple years ago. We hear whispers, the Pac-12 may be collapsing. They may be splitting their teams or the teams may be leaving and going to other conferences. And it ends up happening. We hear whispers, you could have Cal and Stanford possibly going to the ACC. It ends up happening. At what point is, you got to start trusting the whispers of this, of actually coming to fruition? Because it seems like every time, man, eventually it does come to fruition in some shape or fashion.
Yeah, man, the whispers are a dangerous game, but there's always some truth in the whispers, as history has proven.
Oh, God, there's always some truth in the whispers. That's a great name for a song. Can we write that down? That's a great name for a song.
I wrote it down.
Keep going, Pete.
Whispers.
Sorry.
I think the one interesting thing here is I kind of got to it. the ACC is like, they're not reeling, but they're not reeling, right? Like the Big Ten and the SEC are going to get substantially more money from this new college football playoff deal. I think it's like a $7 to $8 million difference. And on top of that, like this deal doesn't end till 2036. So, yeah, I mean, I'll speculate with you. I think if they were to go anywhere, right, Clemson and Florida State, and it's not the Big 12 and the SEC, the Big 10 or the SEC, the Big 12 makes so much sense. Yeah. And Brett Yormark made some really interesting comments. I don't know if you guys saw it, but he's like, we are officially the like third best, one of the 3 best conferences in the country, and we want to be number 1 in America.
There's only 4.
Yeah, hey, it's the Flint, Michigan Mega Bowl.
Messing around.
Hey, you know what it reminds me of, David? It reminds me of the saying, like, there's 3 people walking in the woods, and talking about with the Big 12 and the ACC, like there's 2 people walking the woods and you run into a grizzly bear.
Last.
You don't have to be faster than the bear. You just have to be faster than the other person.
True that.
I feel like that's what the Big 12's doing in the ACC.
Well, the Big 12 is bullying the ACC. I mean, that's verbatim what people say. I can't believe that's a statement we're talking about. Remember, it was only 3 summers ago. We were all together in Birmingham when the news announced Texas, Oklahoma leaving the Big 12. And we said, oh, well, they can't survive as a conference.
Dead.
Now look at them. Been putting in work. Since then, we've already lost one.
Yeah.
We've lost the Pac-12.
It's like the girl that broke up with you. So all of a sudden, like instead of pouting about it,
hey,
you now got a 6-pack.
You got in the gym,
making
buddy.
more money. Yeah.
Pete, look, the entire college football world is excited to see what Alabama's going to look like post Nick Saban. I know that you guys sat down with Jalen Milroe. He was talking about the offense not going to be vanilla, talking about how the offseason has gone since Nick Saban has retired. What can you tell us about that conversation?
You know, I think my biggest takeaway was Jalen Milroe had that opportunity to leave Alabama, right? The transfer portal opens when Saban leaves, and he was pretty blunt and honest with me of how he thinks Alabama's better because that happened, right? Obviously, you don't want to lose the GOAT and Nick Saban, but at the same time, it kind of gives these players the opportunity to leave on their own terms, bring in a new coach, and he stayed. He really likes this new offense, and beyond that too, he's pretty blunt. And he said, I think everyone who's here right now is kind of what we need to win a national championship, and it was almost a healthy process that the Tide went through this offseason.
Yeah, no doubt. How could you not like playing for Kalen DeBoer?
Yeah. I know. It's just, and Alabama's got some pretty good players too. It's like there's only a few places you can go outside of Bama, you're going to get like better players.
Yeah, I agree. Pete, we got a couple questionnaires from the chat, but I want to ask you something. Has anything changed with the current status of the lawsuit from Florida State and Clemson against the ACC?
So, big broad strokes here, right? So like the Florida State got a pretty big win today where the ACC now has to hand over all its ESPN contracts over in the next 7 days. And some stuff still needs to be sorted out there, like how much they can be. It doesn't sound like we'll ever get to see them, but the lawyers will be able to see them. And like that's been something the ACC and ESPN have been fighting against. So that's big for Florida State. You know, guys, like at the end of the day, though, it's like things move like glacially sometimes in this court system. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, like, oh, it's all coming to a big conclusion. Like, it's not. Like, it's just your typical ongoing court battle.
Yeah. Got you. All right, Pete, we're going to go to Jimmy here. He says, what teams will replace Florida State and Clemson if they do leave the ACC, like maybe a Memphis, a Boise State, or a Tulane?
Yeah, this isn't putting the cart before the horse. This is putting the cart 2 miles before the horse even gets out of the barn, Pete.
So speculating here.
Yes.
I like Memphis. I think Memphis, that deal with FedEx, I think really makes it attractive and kind of gives you the idea that Memphis could play with the big boys a little bit. And then Boise State's a good one. I think Tulane's really intriguing, right? No one's in New Orleans. If anyone ever goes all in and big in New Orleans, that could be really interesting. I'll give you a wild card one too, and this is just straight from football. Fresno State is like a football juggernaut, like year in, year out. Now, it's not USC and UCLA, and that will always be a problem, but I kind of like the idea of Fresno State because historically they have been good.
Yeah. Well, geography doesn't matter anymore.
No, it does not.
No. I mean, you got Stanford and Cal in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Pete, I do quickly, and this is something we've discussed multiple times, and again, I just feel like I'm not a lawyer, but I feel like this makes the most sense. Because I know the lawsuit it's not like the ACC is suing ESPN and back and forth, right? It's Florida State. No. It's teams from the ACC are trying to sue ESPN to get out of the contract, right? Those are the two entities that are going against each other, or where's the ACC involved?
No. So Florida State and Clemson have both sued the ACC.
The ACC.
Saying like the grant of rights should not... There's a big battle about what they should pay if they leave the conference.
Yes.
And then on the flip side, the ACC has now sued Florida State and Clemson on the flip side of that. And in these court arguments we've heard, ESPN lawyers have been brought in to side with the ACC about how these contracts should not be made public because of trade secrets.
So do you feel like ESPN is on the side of the ACC fully, like against Florida State and Clemson? Like where I'm trying to see where the lines are drawn because, Pete, my question is, it would just make a whole hell of a lot more sense is if you were going to settle and like ESPN was involved in this with Florida State and ACC and the ACC and Clemson. If the ACC has a deal with ESPN and teams are disputing the contract between the media rights deal, the ACC and ESPN, if you were going to settle, it would make a whole hell of a lot more sense for Florida State or Clemson to go to another conference that at least has a half media rights deal with the ESPN, like the Big 12, or a full media rights deal with ESPN, like the SEC. I'm just not seeing the Big 10 move. I feel like that would be the hardest path, right?
So it's in the best interest of ESPN for the ACC to win this because it gives them more quality TV games, right? At the same time, ESPN has this mega deal with the SEC. So, I mean, if they were to somehow land in the SEC, I guess it'd be good for ESPN no matter how it shakes out. But if one of them decides to go to the Big Ten, like you don't want Florida State. I mean, Andy Staples just did the story. Like, are they a blue blood? Or are they not? Right? I'm sure you guys saw that. But like, Florida State is one of the biggest names in college football. The last thing you want to have happen with all this is they now just play on Fox and CBS. That's
my whole point. Like, if you're gonna bite this bullet, I would rather bite the bullet going to a place where at least our media company has the media rights deal. You don't want to just lose that fully. That's what I would think.
And let me just throw this in here. Like, we are talking about a lot of hypotheticals, but let's also be honest that the TV companies are pulling a ton of strings behind the scenes.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, those your dark. Those your Palpatines in the dark cloaks, man. But y'all got anything else for Pete?
Yeah, I got a question here if you want me. Right, David S. What's up, David? Hashtag Ask Pete. How much do you like SMU's chances for long-term success in the ACC? The Dallas, Texas area has some of the best high school football in the country.
Big fan of the SMU's chances in the ACC, and the reason why I say that, it's all about money, man, and they get a ton of money in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and SMU's not taking that like tier 1 ACC revenue. They're going to take some, but not like the biggest chunk of it per se. And SMU like raised that in like 10 days and this past September. Yeah. Like the money is flowing in for the Mustangs, and I like SMU's chances. The ACC is also kind of like a basketball conference a little bit, and I liked the move to go get Andy Enfield from USC. I think that kind of gives that guy a chance at like a rebirth almost, and things like that. So I think SMU's headed in the right direction in the ACC.
Well, Pete, quickly, how much did Arch Manning get paid to flip his commitment from a non-EA participant to being in the game?
$50,000 to $60,000.
More than me.
Are you kidding me?
I got $50.
Y'all got paid?
So doll hairs?
Yeah.
Can I jump in real quick on this one?
Go ahead.
Please. Everyone's been like, "Oh my God, that's so much money for Arch Manning." Like, well, Eli was in the video. Arch Manning has only like tweeted like 4 times. That was like one of his 4 X posts. And the Quinn Ewers and Travis Hunters, who were on the cover, got like 6 figures. So I really don't think that is that much money. I don't think.
Well, I mean, he hadn't played a snap though. Like this is the backup quarterback. Yeah. Like what? I know what you're saying, Pete. I agree with you because his last name's Manning. But like no other backup quarterback backup player is getting that type of change.
I hear you.
Wow. Which we'll see, man. We'll see.
Do you feel played?
No. I mean, I'm just excited about the game.
Don't say it was because you didn't want to be a distraction.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah. That was funny. It's like on Forgetting Sarah Marshall when he's trying to teach him how to surf, and he's like, "Go slower."
You're just boogie boarding.
Well, you got to do more than that. I mean, now you're just boogie boarding. But we're always boogie boarding, having a good time. Pete Nakos from On 3. Pete, tell everybody where they can find your magical work and your scoops. Got more scoops than a Baskin Robbins, son.
I'm at on3sports.com, and you can find me on X at Pete Nakos _.
Pete, you're the man. Be good out there.
Appreciate
all
you guys.
white. It's a Yo Gotti.
All right, Petey.
See you, buddy.
I love it. All white everything.
We're full up over here, boys.
Get to it.
All right.
Upset people today.
Let's get to the phone lines. We got Will in New Jersey. Will, talk to us.
What's up, boys?
Will, what's up, man?
So a couple things. Blaine, great shout yesterday for the FIFA 14 soundtrack. That soundtrack is chock full of bangers.
I already respect you.
Gold. Jake, we got to chat, okay? You talked yesterday about how you felt bad for the frog in Starbucks. Let me tell you about that little bastard, okay?
Yeah.
He does not have your back, okay? His name is Slippy. He's a little scumbag. He will bail on you at any moment, so don't you ever say that you feel bad.
I wish I knew what we were talking about.
Slippy the Frog. Oh, my. That's really the name, too. It's all coming back to me. I didn't expect this. Oh, my God. You know what? I forgot about his treachery. I can just, it's like they say on Tropic Thunder.
I love our fans, dude.
I just
Slippy
know
the
sound.
Oh, why,
Takes a
dude?
man's
That's
life.
so funny.
No!
Oh, man.
Oh,
God, I did not expect that.
what console was that for?
N64, you had it on.
It's on GameCube, too, right?
Yeah, I think it was on GameCube, too. I think he had, what did he say? I had Dreamcast. What did he say? I had Gamecast. Say, no, you either had
GameCube or Dreamcast.
Or Dreamcast.
I had a Gamecast.
Then I had Gamecast, dog.
Yeah, so never apologize for that.
You're right.
for
Down
that
with
scumbag.
Slippy.
We will not, Will.
Yeah. But I applied for a Best Buy credit card about a year ago. You get like $5 certificates every month. I put all of my certificates in for the new NCAA game, so I got it for $3.
Wow. Oh my God, Will's the smartest guy. Will's the smartest man alive. This is actually good Will hunting.
You run my finances?
Yeah.
Will. Well,
is good
I'll
Will
make sure to
hunting.
take that money off you when we play. All
Yeah,
right?
what it was like to have Robin Williams as your therapist.
Yeah, just let Jeremy know that I'm always brushing up on my resume, so I am available for any sort of positions that you may need to fill.
Will, we will actually go tell him right after the show.
I appreciate it.
All right, buddy.
Yeah, dude.
Thanks, Will.
Slippy the Frog.
That's so funny.
What are the names? Can you look up the names of the other characters
In Star Fox?
Yeah.
I can
Look
do
up the names. I'm going to get to Pokey Texan in Texas. Pokey, what's up?
Okay.
Hey, fellas. Blaine, good news. Not really talking about A&M today.
There you go.
that. Okay.
Who you talking about, Pokey?
I think I got an idea.
Well, one thing I don't know if y'all have seen because I think it dropped once the show started, but appellate court just ruled about NCAA losing about the student employees stuff.
Oh, wow. So we'll check for the update. So
They ruled,
they
I'm
ruled
sure you'll
students
talk about it.
couldn't be employees?
No, they ruled that students may be considered employees. Student athletes, if the language is really weird. but
And you
look
said
at
the
it, we'll talk about it.
NCAA ruled it?
Court ruling
No,
seeks test to
The
decide
US
if athletes are
appellate court
employees.
against the NCAA.
I know
Okay.
that's going to get appealed.
College athletes whose efforts primarily benefit their school may qualify as employees deserving of pay under federal wage and hour laws, a U.S. appeals court ruled Thursday in a setback to the NCAA.
Well, that's what I'm telling you. When they break away from the NCAA, when the Power Five breaks away from the NCAA, you're going to have in that NLI to sign to be able to play in there, hey, I am not an employee of the university, but I will get a they're going to find their way around it. This is only going to speed that up.
Oh, yeah. So, quick trivia thing. Grandpa Bowman from my alma mater, Oklahoma State, started what year for what team, and what team did he play for in between?
Well, okay. So you said Alan Bowman. What team did he start for? And what year did he?
What year and what team did he start for? And what team was in between that and Oklahoma State?
I feel like Bowman started at Oklahoma State and then went back, unless I'm tripping. I might be.
Go with that.
I'm gonna go with he started at Oklahoma State in 2019. And then between Oklahoma State and Oklahoma State, he was at Nevada.
Oh, y'all talk a lot of trash about this old man to not know much.
Well, dude, I mean, I got a. Yep, go ahead.
2018 Texas Tech.
Okay.
He was there for 2 seasons.
That's right.
Okay.
That's 6 years
He was
ago.
at
Didn't do anything for Michigan.
Michigan.
Shame on
That's right.
Roman?
two
Yeah.
seasons.
Michigan? Ooh,
And then Oklahoma State since.
Gotcha.
7 seasons when he starts this year.
Yeah, well, I didn't know what Van Wilder majored in his freshman year either, so I don't feel too bad about
That's
it.
right. He did do a stint in Michigan.
Great call, man.
Yeah, 7 years. Good Lord.
One last thing. Did you see the extended version of the Mike Gundy tape?
Which part? Because there's 2.
Well, he's got a new job offer from the circus because he managed to get his foot in his mouth while his head was already in his ass.
That's a great way to end it right there.
Oh, well done, Pokey.
How did I not know
See you,
Bo
brother.
went to Michigan?
See you, buddy. Yeah, came in from Texas Tech. Now I
I
remember
knew he
that.
was at Texas. I feel like everybody's played quarterback at Texas Tech at some
Year
point.
7.
I think I did.
Playing forever these days. Golly, I got a year left somewhere. Let's go to Matt in Atlanta. Matt, how's Atlanta doing these days?
Hey, doing well so far. I mean, Braves keep losing a little bit, but you know.
We're going to figure it out, Matt. We're going to figure it out.
Grounds, brother.
I hope so. Yeah, so I was going to ask, I guess all of you this question. Obviously, we're coming up on football season, and you know me, I'm obsessed with the draft and all that as well. I'm wondering what teams do you think will produce the most draft picks this year? Because I got 3 contenders who I think are all kind of neck and neck, but I'm curious to get you guys' opinion.
All right, I'm going to give you 3. Just bang, bang, bang. Ohio State,
Buckeyes,
Georgia,
Bulldogs.
and number 3 is the hardest one, but you know who I'm going to go with? Michigan.
You think so again this year?
Those are my 3, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go Michigan. What's crazy is like we keep like realizing how much Michigan lost, but how much they returned too. That's like, I mean, you got the number 1 ranked player in the East.
I'd go.
And you got Mason, who's
They got
getting straight out of
now the
hollow
number
earth.
1 corner, number 1 D tackle, and number 1 tight end too.
Probably go Georgia, Ohio State, Texas.
Texas, good pick.
I want Bama. Wouldn't probably be crazy to put Bama somewhere up there either. But no, those were the 3 I would go
What
with.
are your
Oregon's interesting too.
So who are mine?
Yeah. So you had the same 3 I did, right, Matt?
Yeah, I had the same exact 3 you did. I mean, I personally think Ohio State, if I was ranking them, would probably
Agree
be
with
number
that.
1 right now.
Agree with
I
that.
just think that they've got, I mean, Ebukwe is probably the number 1 wide receiver taken this year outside of maybe Luther.
Wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me, even though Burden, man, I think it's going to be tough to pass him just with what he has.
I think Luther Burden's the best receiver in college football.
That's what's kind of interesting about this year is that, you know, like last year, we kind of knew who the top 2 picks were probably going to be at this point was going to be Caleb Williams and Drake May. Yeah. But there's really no, I would say, consensus number 1 player this year or even everything going on. So it's just kind of like funny to just see everyone sort of in this giant conglomerate.
Well, it just shows you how cyclical the draft is, just like football is cyclical. I mean, you have your, I mean, you look at the quarterback class this year compared to the one last year, but you know, then you look at the wide receiver class this year compared to the one last year. That's what makes it the most fun to me, Matt, when you're looking at drafting. It's just all circumstantial and it's all cyclical.
Oh, yeah. And performance obviously plays a big role in it. Like if Georgia dominates again this year, they're almost assuredly going to, you know, get more picks. I think it's Ohio State's year, though. I really do.
I would, if you gun to my head, I would go Ohio State for sure. Because I think they're going to, and again, the more big games you play in, the more good tape, you know, high quality film against high quality players you can put out there for giving yourself the chance to help your draft status.
And they all came back for this year the way that Michigan players did a year ago.
Yep, squad ride.
Yep, squad ride. Appreciate it, Matt.
Matt, thanks, buddy.
Hold down Atlanta for us now.
Stay in the air conditioning.
All right, will do. Bye,
let's go to Sam in Austin. Sam, talk to us.
Okay, all right, Sam.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. First time calling in, but I'm in the chat every once in a while.
Thank you, Sammy.
Hey,
pleasure to talk to you guys today.
Thanks for it.
And just have to say, I came for Ben, but as long as you guys have a show at Daily Wire, I'm going to stick around because y'all have the best sports entertainment show out there, hands down.
Wow. Appreciate it, buddy. Thank you.
And to Jake, congrats on becoming a dad. You're going to be a great father, and
thank you,
buddy. Well, I'm really excited for you, man. So I've got a proposition for you guys to consider that is fantasy football related. So I'm getting pretty pumped for the new season. It's still a couple months away, and I'm already thinking about fantasy football.
God, I love it.
And I think there's a good way for you guys to maybe get some fans engaged, and maybe you guys think about having a Crane and Company fantasy football league where the three of you guys have a team. Maybe some of the more serious hosts that will play can have a team, like maybe Matt Walsh, but we all know the other hosts are not all that serious. And you guys open up the remaining slots. Maybe it's a 12-team league to Daily Wire Plus members and have a contest or drawing or something like that to get some fans involved. And maybe the grand prize is if a Daily Wire Plus member wins, you guys have an all expenses trip out for that person to come tour the studio and come visit Nashville with you guys and maybe do a show with you guys, just kind of recapping the season. And I just thought maybe that'd be a good way to get some fans involved. And if you guys do run with this, the only thing I ask is y'all reserve a spot for me, reserve a team for me. So just wanted to plug that for you guys and just some food for thought. And looking forward to the season.
Sam, well, that's a fantastic idea, buddy. We'll see what we can do, and if it does happen, you definitely got a spot. I promise.
Appreciate it, Sam.
Appreciate it, Sam.
Right,
Thank you, buddy.
That's a great call, man. Thank you. Let's go to Marcus in Iowa. Marcus, what's going on?
Hey guys, how are you doing today?
Marcus, how are you?
Hey, not too bad. I just had some rapid fire questions for you guys. Answer them whatever order you want. But I was listening to Andy Staples this morning, and it got my mind running on some questions. Number one, what do you guys think about the quarterback battle will be like between Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Raiola week 2? And if Colorado loses to North Dakota State week 1, is that more motivation to beat Nebraska in week 2? Or is it more motivation for Nebraska that they can beat Colorado week 2?
I'll answer the last one first. Look, anytime you're coming off a loss, you're obviously, especially early in the season, you're ready to get back and play the next game and get that taste out of your mouth, and playing against what should be a better opponent in Nebraska if they were to lose to North Dakota State. I think it motivates you even more. I mean, nothing fuels, an 18 to 22-year-old male like embarrassment. But, to me, I think regardless of what happens between Colorado and North Dakota State, Nebraska's ready for Colorado to go to Lincoln and play them after what happened last year. I don't think the final score of that game, week 1 is going to have any bearing on whether Nebraska gets more fired up than not fired up to play Colorado in week 2. That was my whole point of, Colorado's in a position where, and it's not I don't envy them, and you are the hunted, not the hunter, and you only won 4 games, and you still don't have great depth up front. That you're not sneaky.
We saw that the whole season. They played so much better as the hunter when everyone's just writing them off for winning early in the season.
If Colorado loses to North Dakota State, the amount of panic.
We think it'll panic.
I bet they'll fall.
Oh, Blaine on social media.
I bet they'll. No, I'm not even rooting for. I'm not rooting for the downfall of Colorado. But I bet if they lose against North Dakota State, that they will implode.
Because non-college football fans who Deion's brought in to the college game won't understand what North Dakota State's all about.
No, and it's a bad matchup.
Yeah.
Like I like North Dakota State right now. Plus,
but in terms of the facing Raiola, look, Raiola's young. We got to see what he can do. Shedeur is going to keep Colorado in a lot of games that they may otherwise not have any business.
Shedur's a top 10 pick.
We'll see.
Best quarterback in the Big 12. I think.
Yeah.
No, second best.
Yeah, and just really quickly, too, my last question was, what teams do you think that the Big Ten has to add to compete with the SEC on quality of schedule and just quality of conference? Or is there anybody in mind that you have? Not saying it's going to happen next year or anything, but...
I mean, I think the Big Ten's done a good job. I mean, obviously I could sit here and say they would love to add, a Florida State and Clemson. And here's the thing. We're running out of teams to add. Like, that's the problem. Like, now we've gone, as long as, and we have this Power 4 structure. I mean, you look around the rest of the country, I don't see anybody leaving the Big 12 right now with the way that's been formulated, unless that implodes. You look at the ACC, we'll see what happens there. We know who the top dogs are. Florida State, Clemson, Miami, North Carolina, Virginia Tech. But outside of that, I mean, you start looking Group of 5, right? Memphis, like we talked about, right? You look at Boise State. You look at Fresno State, right? You look at Group of 5 teams that can make the jump, like Houston and Cincinnati and some of these other teams did. But if there's one team out there,
Notre Dame.
It's Notre Dame. But I just don't see them leaving that independent window as long as they can just dangle that NBC contract right there.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Just thanks for the call, and Jake, congratulations on being a father. Hope to be one someday, and I hope that the first thing you teach them is touchdown Jesus from Notre Dame, as I'm doing with my godson.
Hey, well, look, half my family's Catholic, so there's a shot, Marcus. I appreciate it.
Great call, dude.
Thanks,
Great call.
Marcus.
All right, buddy.
Appreciate it, man. All right, let's go to Casey in Nevada. Casey, talk to us.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Awesome. First off, Jake, congratulations on being a girl dad.
Thanks, man. I'm super.
Myself, but my wife and I are expecting our third boy come October.
God, let's go. Put together an infield, son. I'm a little bit peanut butter and jelly. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, we play 8-man football where I'm at, so I just need 5 more, and then I can.
There you go.
Hey, I went when I was up in Montana. I went and recruited a 6-man football game. 6-man. Which basically everybody can do everything.
I played high school football in Montana for a little bit. I kind of bounced around. But
where were you at in Montana?
Dylan.
I know Dylan. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, I was actually in the same school as Troy Anderson, the linebacker for the Falcons.
Oh wow, That's where they filmed The Revenant.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
But yeah, so point of my call, that was kind of the first point. Second one is Blaine. You would definitely beat me in college football, but I would still try to give you decent competition. So we will have to play eventually.
Yeah, for sure we'll play.
And lastly, I am going into my first year as a high school football coach at the high school that I teach at. And I was just kind of wondering what advice you guys had.
Oh man,
what you would have gotten going into your first year.
Yeah, first off, congratulations. The best advice I could that I give when it comes to coaching is, you've got to do it your own way, right? All the things that you learn from other guys, you take a little bit, but you have to be genuine in the way you go about it. That's the easiest way to get respect, in my opinion. It's like, we may not agree all the time, but at the end of the day, I'm telling you the truth. You're telling me the truth. We can build a relationship out of that. And I always kept it straight with him. Like, I never woke up and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna yell today. I'm going to be an ass today as much as you, or you know what? I'm going to let him get away with stuff today. No, be the same guy, treat everybody the same. And obviously you got to know what you're talking about. You got to be able to answer every question. But don't make your mind up who you're going to be when you wake up.
You're not their friend. All right, you're their coach.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Don't be their friend.
I'm also I'm their history teacher too, so I mean it's kind of a
yeah. Well, look, we're gonna go run laps, and I'm gonna tell you what happened in the Battle of Iwo Jima.
Have fun, man. Win some games. Let us know how it goes.
Yeah, keep us posted, Casey.
Yeah, Casey, let us know, buddy.
Yeah, I will definitely.
Thanks,
man.
All right,
hey, good luck on the baby.
All right, let's go to Keegs in Utah. Keegs, what's up?
Cheese.
What's up, boys? It's your favorite Steady Eddie.
God, keep it.
You gotta keep it here.
You gotta keep it here. Oh.
I need them to announce that name so bad. I've got that jersey. I've already started designing that jersey for you guys. So
I love it. I can't wait. I love it.
Okay, so real reason I'm calling. I've got a college football 25 question for you. Also, really fast. I know everybody said it, but Jake, congrats on becoming a girl dad.
Thanks, buddy.
An 18-month-old girl. It is the best thing on the planet.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
So, second thing, I am a alma mater of Utah Tech in Southern Utah. Have you guys
I know Utah
ever
Tech.
That school?
I know Utah Tech.
Come on now.
Do you? Okay. So it's former university, but that's too racist, so they changed the name. And so they're FCS. They're in the UAC for football is their conference.
Yep.
But I plan on building them in college football 25 to bring them to the FBS level.
Very good for you.
I kind of narrowed down. Yeah, kind of narrowed down. I want to put them in the MAC or the Sun Belt, but I want your guys' take on where I should stick them and what team I should take out.
All right, I'm thinking recruiting territory here. I don't know if I'd go Sun Belt. All right, a lot of speed in the Sun Belt. I'd probably go MAC, right? I think you can get away with a little bit more. Not saying that nobody's fast in the MAC, but there's a whole hell of a lot more 12 personnel, up there in the MAC. I would go MAC, right? That's what I would do.
What team are you taking out of the MAC?
What team are you taking out of the MAC, and why is it definitely not Kent State?
I have no idea. Kent State. There's no way it's Kennesaw.
The amount of strays Kent State has caught the last couple of days.
No, I am going to turn Kent State into a power. They'll be like Sean Lewis, who?
Right. It's the first thing you do when you get on NCAA. You obviously you play the game, and then you get your rivals dynasty and completely gut their program.
Yeah, just because I just want to.
So grown-ups do.
I'm planning on doing that to Utah. I'm actually a BYU fan, so I'm gonna take
Beautiful.
Oh wow, God.
Beautiful.
Retire Witt and take him down to FCS.
Hey, is Jerry Bohannon going to be y'all starter?
I don't know, man. The way they talk about Retzloff, it sounds like he's picked it up in the summer.
Well, God, he just looks so bad, dude.
I don't know. I'm more on the Bohannon train. At least that dude has proven something. It's been a while, but at least he's done something.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So we'll see. Well, appreciate you, boys. Thank you so much.
Great call, man. Good luck. Utah Tech. What's Utah Tech? What are the mascot? What's the mascot again, he said?
The Fighting Orangutans.
Really?
Is it really?
You just made that up.
No, that's really what it is.
That's
what he said.
Is that what he said?
That's what he said.
Keegs, thanks, man.
Jeez. Hey, you remember that time we put him in the dumpster?
I got out. What is it, Utah Tech, you said?
Yeah.
That was the last caller for the day, too.
All right. Why are you looking that up? I'm going to go to the board.
Utah Tech, Brooks the Bison.
Oh, Brooks the Bison?
You're just over there making stuff.
Why do you just make stuff up?
What do you mean?
The Fighting Orangutan?
I'm trying to be president. That's how you do it.
Good Lord. All right. 101 yesterday. How about England? Love to see it. 90th minute. Oh, I love it. Cheerio. All right, here's what I got today. Dodgers, Phillies, Nerfy. No run first inning are never run from fat iguanas. That plus 100. Also, give me the Brewers and the Pirates. Nerfy, minus 155. Paul Skeens is on the mound. They're like, they're definitely not scoring in the bottom. We'll see if they score in the top. All right, David.
All right, my two-team parlay did not hit yesterday. I'm still waiting on Medvedev versus Alcaraz. But for today, Phillies money line, Aaron Nola, shove. That's minus 142. And then Orioles, I'm going back to the Orioles again, money line, minus 130.
Good. I hope they win. Bring mine up. 1-1 yesterday. Let's see if we can have a better day today. Blue Jays, Giants, Nerfy. That's going off at minus 148. Extremely odd number. And then Rays money line, minus 104. You know who they're playing, boys?
Who?
Yankees. Burned in hell.
Yeah. All right, Ace, he's going to go Rays money line and Braves money line. Thank you,
Ace.
Finally, you're getting some order in your house.
Finally.
Braves money line at minus 120. I will say before we get to the chat, and donuts and all that, we watched Tropic Thunder last night.
Y'all watched it together?
Blaine came over to the crib.
Well, last time I was over, this is the thing with Jake, all right? I love going to hang out with him. One of my favorite things to do.
I don't like how this story is
Jake
starting.
will get super excited about a movie to watch it. We'll start at 8:45, 8:50. 20 minutes in, I'll look over, and this is the only thing I'll see.
Yeah, he's a grown-up.
Don't get me excited about watching.
You can finish it
on it and then not finish the movie.
I haven't finished a movie in 6 years.
Who does that? So last time I was over, we watched Tropic Thunder. He fell asleep the first 20 minutes.
It's like 35 minutes.
All right, but this time, we made it through.
We did. And listen, my pregnant wife walks upstairs to go to bed. I'm gonna go up there with her. Yes, have a come back to that.
Why do you start a movie so late?
Hey, Justine, hey, yes. This isn't an AB conversation, so can you see your way out? Thank you. Justine knows I love her. She's just happy Armando Baycott gave NC State a compliment yesterday. No, dude, Tropic Thunder is, if you haven't watched
a top 5
movie. Bro, there are parts of that movie I forgot that are so funny. Like when Ben Stiller's character thinks that he's still doing the movie and he goes off by himself and he thinks that they're filming him in the jungle. And he's like, hello, Mantis.
No, the funniest.
He's like, you're beautiful.
The funniest dude. What we laughed at hard was Robert Downey's.
Robert Downey Jr.'s face?
When he does, they're in the, it's like a scene where after he slaps him, booty sweat.
Yeah.
Slaps the booty sweat guy, he says something to him, and he looks at him.
He's like,
what he does his face, David, we got to watch it.
We got to watch it together, bro.
Just the intros. The fake trailers for the movies.
They're great.
Satan's Alley.
Scorcher 6.
It's like,
you left the fridge open.
To be
Fatties.
condemned.
Yeah, Chris, whatever his name is, from ESPN. The NBA guy.
Brian Windhorst?
Brian Windhorst.
Stop.
All right, let's go to the chat.
All right, let's go to a $10 donation from Horns Up. Oklahoma sucks. They're going to maybe win 3 games.
You know what's funny? I said there's, it's so funny to see this because you have like the spectrum, right, of what's going on. You have on one end, non-Texas and Oklahoma fans in the SEC. They're like, y'all are going to suck and be terrible. Then on the Texas and Oklahoma side, you have Texas and Oklahoma fans who are like, we're going to come in and dominate. But then you have like the split factions, like the Texas fans who are like, yeah, we're going to come in and dominate, but Oklahoma sucks. They're going to be terrible. That's the funny part.
Let's go to a $7.11 donation from David S. What do y'all think this is going to be?
$7.11.
It's a 7-Eleven. Is this a Slurpee question?
It's Happy Slurpee Day.
There we go. Dude, I'm on
today.
fire right now.
Wow.
Close on the percentages for the polls. Getting Slurpee Day right.
$5 donation from Timothy from Green Bay. Jake is flabbergasted when people don't think every team in the SEC is the greatest thing.
That's
slice
not
spread. Mid-off in the SEC, Big Ten is better.
That's a flabbergasted face right there. Look at that flabbergasted.
There's a reason y'all lost that championship game in 7-on-7.
7-on-7?
It's starting to make a lot. It's starting to make a lot more sense now, Timothy. Nobody said that every team in the SEC is better than every other team ever. It's from top to bottom. Playing in the SEC is the hardest conference.
Well, not bottom. Not Vanderbilt.
Top through the bottom.
Vanderbilt
top through next.
I mean, you're right.
Vanderbilt's definitely a bottom.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You're right. They're no Northwestern. You're right.
Let's go to a $5 donation from 808 JM. Aloha, gents.
Yep.
Saw the Copa fight. U.S. can't let this thing happen during WC. I believe it's the World Cup. Ready for another heartbreak from England in Euro. WDE, War Dame Eagle. And let's freaking go Maui Invitational.
Listen, we're trying to get to Maui. We're trying to get there.
$5 donation from Booster Club Cards package update. Yes, Jake, you'll be getting exactly what you were hoping for with my shipment. Also, action figure picture update. We got to keep forgetting about that. $2 donation from Ryan Gade. Braves fans eat pizza with a fork and a knife.
We're civilized.
I love it. $5 donation from Timmy. Blaine, keep fighting the loser Colorado fans. Be the villain and the truth teller you are. Thank you. And Jake, I still love you. I hope Auburn wins it all in the SEC or Hawk.
Hey, look, I'm with you 100%. I said Colorado's not winning more than 5 games, so it Shadur Sanders can be the best quarterback in the Big 12, and they can also go 5-7.
Somehow I became the villain.
Yeah,
and this keeps happening.
Either die
from
hero.
Yankees.
I thought you were their biggest fan.
Like they just keep coming after me, and I don't know why. All right, if you donated today, thank you so much. Y'all ready to get to the poll, or I can run through the chat a little bit?
Yeah, run through the chat a little bit.
Okay, let's go to MR, Matt Riley. Paul Skeen just got pulled after 7 no-hit innings, and then the new pitcher gave up a hit on his second pitch. I hate this new style of baseball.
Doing it.
Yeah, I don't like it. If you got a no-no or a perfect game, outside of you like are somewhat injured and they're worried about you furthering that, you got to let him go, dude.
Weren't you listening to the David Wells perfect game explanation?
Yes,
earlier?
David Wells was talking about how he was hungover during his perfect game and like just started feeling better in like the 5th or 6th inning. Like, look, let him go, man. It's a frozen situation. Let it go.
Let's go to Reno, Racha. LOL, OU is Texas's daddy for years and then have 1 year in 2 decades. Ha, 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 ha.
That's, again, like, this is what I love to see. It's like Texas and Oklahoma. You know what? And I'm not saying, it's almost like when Russia and Germany signed that pact in World War II. Like, you knew they hated each other. And everybody was shocked and excited, but they were kind of together on this. But then all of a sudden, like when they got to the point, then they just fought each other. That's what this is.
You know which one hurts Oklahoma, though? losing Bedlam in that last year.
Yeah, that does hurt.
Like you said, Oklahoma State, don't even reschedule them.
No, I'd never play all again.
Schedule them again.
What? I would just show people, like, we played them once in our history, and then they lost and never played us again.
Let's go to OU Homer. He says, Texas fans voted for Pete Buttigieg.
There they go.
This is so, I love college football so much.
That's wild.
I love college football so much.
All right, let's go to the bad tutor. He says, do you think Mac Brown will retire after this season?
You know, the fun, I'm going to say Mac Brown. You know, you had like Joe Pa at Penn State. You have these old guys that they're really not even coaching anymore. They're just figureheads there and everybody else is running it. Like, you know, kind of like the president right now. But Mac Brown's still coaching. Like, I feel like Mac Brown's still, like, producing at a pretty high level. So I'm going to say maybe, but I don't think it's I use this all the time. They're going to put him on the raft and just push him down the river and start singing Sarah McLachlan songs as they light torches and wave by. Hope you find your dad.
Let's go to D. Mora. Texas has one good year in 20, and they're already unbearable.
Dude, when they beat Bama last year, oh, my God. Twitter, I remember just getting on Twitter. It was like Rhaegar, the dragon from Game of Thrones, just went and burned the whole city. It was just absolutely wild. This is why I can't wait. I can't wait for the season. I cannot wait for the social media reaction. It's going to be great.
Let's go to Daddy25 from the Daily Wire chat. We've been having some struggle with the Daily Wire chat, so I want you to know I am paying attention to y'all. We're just working on some things over here. Driving through Nashville, some dummy with a Sooner tag just cut me off. She's about to find out what an SEC linebacker is going to be like.
Oh, God, be careful. You'd be great for Georgia.
All right, we got another donation, a $5 donation from Booster Club Cards. I was asking for the updates, Blaine. Do you have the package yet? Is there an update on the action figure pictures I need? We're looking for the package, and we will get those pictures done probably next week because Coney will be out of town this weekend.
Yes, got a wedding in Bryant-Denny.
Yeah. Y'all eating salmon?
I don't know.
Said I didn't want it. Said it like 5.
All right, let's go to BR. If Florida ends up firing Billy Napier after the season, who would be a good replacement, and why is it Lane Kiffin?
I don't think Lane's leaving Ole Miss. I think he'd have left Ole Miss already if he was going to leave Ole Miss. The one I'm looking at for Florida, and if I'm Florida, I actually go after Lance Leipold if it's me. Now, you'll say, oh, you want somebody with some experience in the state of Florida. I mean, do we really start? I'm thinking in the NFL. I mean, no, I don't know, man. Like, Rhett Lashley would be interesting, but I think he's going to be the next head coach at Arkansas. I'd have to really sit down and think about it. But look, I mean, there's some DC somewhere.
I'm going to bring old Gus over from Orlando.
Gus?
Bring old Gus.
I know they
just bring Gus right on over.
Yeah, go ahead and say it, Blaine. Who should they hire?
Nate Oates. All right. Call Nate Oates, dude. Nate will take the job.
Nate Oates will take the Florida football
They'd shoot
job.
a lot of threes, huh?
Yeah, they throw it deep every play.
All right.
Deep or run inside zone.
All right, y'all ready to get this poll?
Yep.
Should FSU and Clemson join the Big 12? Yes or no?
I've been hot lately.
No, 70%.
No, 63%.
Come on, over.
No, 51.
Tight.
Wow,
Yes.
that's tight.
49%.
Very tight. Interesting. All right, we appreciate you guys. Shout out to our sponsors, Fume and ShipStation. Our buddy Pete Nakos at On3. Go check him out. Like I said, he's got more scoops than a Baskin-Robbins. And Coney, enjoy your wedding.
Thank you, sir.
Solo on Flamin' Dragon Friday.
That's Jimmy.
Yeah, and
wedding hashtag is Roll Tide.
yeah, like the chances of the ACC surviving 5 more years, we're going. Gone.